Welcome back to the Comic Book ASM Artist. Today I wanted to look at this book I was gifted 2 Christmases ago, which is the Marvel Vehicles Owner's Workshop Manual. And at the outset it looks like, your traditional vehicle manual for your car or whatever, but the inside of it is much different than that, obviously. But inside it covers a lot of the popular, well-known vehicles for Marvel, as well as some obscure stuff too. And as I leafed through this a year or so ago, I wasn't even aware of a lot of them, so I hope you'll enjoy this little look through this book with me here. So I know this image here was used whenever they were rounding out Cap for when the new movie came out. And I'm trying to remember the issue number, but I can't recall. I know it was like 616 or something. I can't remember. But this is the contents. And they have a good mixture of stuff in here. And this image here I remember is from the Secret Wars, I believe. Gabriel Dell'Otto did that. And that's a series I need to reacquire. Little mini series they did. So it starts off with the X vehicles, and it does show all of the ones that are in the section. So first is a Blackbird, and this is, the standard X-Men vehicle you think about when you think about the X-Men traveling. It's the one that they always showed in the movies and on the animated series, as, if you grew up in the 90s, you lovingly recalled. So, I don't know if I'll read a little bit of info here, but not too much. So the description and operational history. The X-Jet, or Blackbird, is a high-level altitude, high-speed, reconnaissance, and light combat aircraft, continuously modified over the 5 decades of its service life. The Blackbird has existed in numerous models designed for general use as well as specific operational tasks, such as search and rescue. And I believe that's the helicarrier, S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier behind there. And I think this is the first appearance of it. It shows the interior here. Can't carry a lot of people, oddly enough. The X-Men has quite a large roster, but, not everyone got to travel in the Blackbird, so usually your heavy hitters would come in that. Or sometimes the others would be like on a rescue mission, so it would be your backup string. So next is the Dove, and I don't even know about this one here. So let's see, specs and features. Crew capacity is 8 fuselage material, unique multi-layer alloy designed to absorb and ablate incoming energy blast as well as kinetic weaponry. So I'm not sure where they would really use this one. Maybe more for combat? Possibly. Like, I'm not really familiar with it. I'm trying to read a little on it to see if I can learn something here. Just getting comparison, really. And then the next one is the Stratajet. And once again, this isn't one I'm familiar with either. Main one is that, the Blackbird. ICARUS' X-Copter. And so you can see it here. Next it talks about the helicarriers. So, the most famous one is the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, as lovingly portrayed in the first Avengers movie. Just really amazed Cap when they floated out of the water and took to the air. And I don't blame him. I couldn't imagine being on something like that. I know that even I've taken just like a ferry over to Canada, and that was impressive to me, you know, because, you know, that has an elevator on there, and all the cars are down below, and there's some stores and things like that. And it feels like you're in a building, but yet you're traveling across water. But I could just be easy to impress too. So here's another one, Monster Hunting Helicarrier. I think this one is shaped like a cube here. Xenobiology research labs replacing space dedicated to aircraft operations in a standard helicarrier. So it looks like it's another S.H.I.E.L.D. vehicle. And then the next one here is the Iliad. So following the resurgence of Hammer, Steve Rogers commissioned a new helicarrier and made it the mobile headquarters of the Secret Avengers, with Maria Hill as ship commander. Iliad, as it came to be known, is the most advanced helicarrier yet. One departure from previous generations of helicarriers is that the Iliad has an entire operational center dedicated to psychological, telepathic, and psionic attacks. And I read The Secret Avengers when it came out, but I don't remember a lot about it. And here is the Hammer helicarrier. I think it's safe to say I'm familiar with probably about maybe 1/3 of the vehicles in this book. There's the Department H helicarrier. I see that maple leaf on there. I'm assuming it's somehow connected to Canada. An Alpha flight or something like that. So now we're in the aircraft section. First we have the Avengers QUINJET. And I've definitely seen the Avengers use the QUINJET quite a bit in the books, but you know, it always goes back to the X-Men vehicle when I think about jets in comics. I think there was just something about it. I don't know. But we'll get to what I always associated Cap's vehicle with when we find it here. There's very few vehicles I made mental notes of. There's the QUINJET 2. Here's the Dagger QUINJET. Has a vibranium hull. And I guess it's used by Wakanda. There's the Thunderbolt's Quinjet there. Here we go, here's the S.H.I.E.L.D. flying car. See that quite a few times whenever Nick Fury would pass across, or cross paths rather, with Captain America in the instances when it was in the Epting's run. It's a cool one there. I think that's a Mark Brooks painting. I'm looking for his signature, but I don't see it. But I think that's his. That's very cool. And yeah, there's just some more. I don't ever remember it being any color but red though, so that's interesting to me. And here's your blueprints here, or your schematics, or whatever you want to call it. Even yellow too, huh? Here's the Runaways Leapfrog, and I have never even read that story, so I'm unfamiliar with the team and this vehicle, but it obviously looks very much like a frog, and it looks like there's quite a few different frog type vehicles there. So, we're not going to go into great detail in the book, but this is a fun little book. It has a lot of really random things in it, so if you're interested in this, by all means check it out. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. There's the Alpha Flight Omnijet, giant A there, and the Mooncopter for Moon Knight. Here's Thor's Chariot. Surprised they didn't do the bone structure of the rams there. Let's see. The chariot has changed forms on several occasions. Sometimes it has seats, sometimes an open standing interior. Sometimes it is a single two-wheeled conveyance, other times a train of wagons. The only constant is the goats. And then we have the Deadpool Corps, B. Arthur. I'm not huge on Deadpool either, but, obviously the gag with naming a vehicle after B. Arthur is pretty funny. Let's see. So not even giving any real specs here. It's pretty much Deadpool, talking to the reader as he does. On to the gliders. First we have the Goblin glider rather. And it has always been one of the most iconic villain vehicles, I would say. One that has been emulated quite a few times. There's the Jack-o'-lantern's pogo platform. Looks a lot like a top here. Pogo platform was not designed to fly. Instead, it is able to bounce off any surface at any angle while maintaining its rider's balance. And there's the spider glider. Looks heavily inspired by the goblin there. Like the Green Goblin and Hobgoblin, Spider-Man wears a satchel full of dangerous projectiles when he's on the spider glider. He just rides in on that more or less to taunt them. Very iconic image there. There's the Demogoblin glider. There's a lot of goblins in Spider-Man's history. I don't know how there manages to be so many of them, honestly, but it's all good. Now we're on to the spaceships. So first is Thanos' Sanctuary class ship. Energy shielding powered by plasma core. Onboard AI response counters and repels infiltration or direct assault within the ship itself. I like how the book has a good mix between current and the old artwork too. That's a nice touch, I think. There's the flying throne. Say this is the main thing I think of when I think of Thanos or Thanos, however you want to say him. And we have the Dreadnought 666. Let me look back at the throne here. Let's see. Armpad quantum field sensors could detect individual energy signature of any sentient being. So it looks like they don't know much about the propulsion or the weaponry here. Flying throne could travel among dimensions as quickly as it could traverse interstellar distances. Here's the Guardians of the Galaxy ship. I believe they just call it the Milano now, though, but maybe at the time of this they weren't referring to it as that. After Alyssa Milano. Freedom's Lady. I don't even know what that is. Annihilator class AI capable of multiple target assessment and engagement, life support, automatic defense systems management. Oh, so it looks like this is an older Guardians vehicle based upon that dialogue there. And there's the dry dock. Star-Lord ship Rack and Ruin. Here's ICARUS, the Bride of Martinex. As many as 24 light fighter and reconnaissance spacecraft most capable of automated operation under control of shipboard AI. And here's the scuttlebutt. So this is fully sentient, loyal to Betteray Bill, that's this guy here, capable of self-repair by means of onboard robotic technicians as well as nanotech replicators. And here's the Starjammer. Another nice little X-Men vehicle there. Ta-2 in the Star Sphere. This is part of the ship's interior is divided into thousands of pocket environments for housing life forms captured for study over millions of years. And we go back to cars and vans. And we have the Punisher battle van. And the biggest impact I remember with this for me is on the Spider-Man cartoon when he meets him and he had his friend basically hanging out in the van, helping guide him and stuff. It's pretty much a van filled with a ton of weapons, to my understanding, and then surveillance equipment and stuff. And we have the Punisher's motorcycle. Got a skull on there, obviously. Hobgoblin's battle van. Captain America's van. I want to say this was around the 80s when he was doing his 800 number stuff. There's the Spider-Mobile. And this is how it's seen in the Old Man Logan comic with the blind Hawkeye driving it. I never quite understood why he needed this vehicle. It does look fun though, and I know I had a toy of it when I was young. I wonder why the Punisher's motorcycle wasn't with these motorcycles. Ghost Rider's Hell Cycle. Cool images there. Apparently this is where all the hell cycles are, and there's Dan Ketch's and Noble Kale's. Here's Vengeances. Here's Robbie Ray's Street Rod. Here's the Sky Cycle. This is how I always remember it here. I believe this was in the late 80s, early 90s. That says 1970s there. But I could have sworn I remember seeing it like that. Especially in the in some of the Captain America books I had, and in the Captain America and the Avengers video game, he would ride on that. And they had a figure that came out, the Light Spark series or whatever, Captain America for Spider-Man animated toys, and it had this vehicle with it. So here's the modern one, I guess. Sky Cycle 2, it says 2000s era. I really like that bubble look on it though. Cyclops' motorcycle. And we got Captain America's motorcycle. And I'm surprised who else is very famous for riding a motorcycle they didn't include here. That would be old Wolverine. But yeah, he doesn't have one in here. As we could just assume that he stole Cyclops's maybe. But that's it for the book. Hope you all enjoyed it. Once again, this is the Marvel Vehicles Owner's Workshop Manual. And you can find it online somewhere. But that's going to do it for now. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you want to see. And you guys have a good day or night. Thanks. Bye.